Gemini, good morning. How are you? You sitting in the back there, Hugh? Hello, Gemini. How are you? Yay! Stevie's back with a brand new invention. So how you doing? So just a couple of things before we start, Gemini. I'm going to do your weekly reading for you, but things that are vital for the channel is give it a like, just give it a thumbs up. Those little thumbs that are on your phone, you just got to go down just not even a centimetre, you got to go down, just hit that like button. Really doesn't take long. Leave a comment, anything you like, just kind of an emoji, anything, a comment and a like. But the most important thing is the audience retention rate for the algorithm. If you click on and watch and then click off, the audio retention thinks, okay, they're really not that bothered. So if you can, watch the video in its entirety. Okay, so from the beginning to the end, all you got to do is just watch the video. Try not to click off if you can, even for future reference. Of like, if you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to pop in on the chat and say hello to everybody, but then I'm just going to pop off. Okay, the retention rate of the algorithm thinks they're not interested in the video. Okay, so a like, a comment, and just make sure that you watch it right through. Okay, Gemini, so here we go. Let's see what you've got coming up, please. I want to try and get 250 likes. I've got to try and push you guys. Try and get 250 likes on the video if I can. Okay, that's what we're aiming for, Gemini. Okay, consistency. So some of you might be cooking or baking, or your name's Baker, or you've got like a consistency. You're looking for things to be thicker, or you're looking for someone to be consistent. Now, okay, so two messages we're going to channel for a little while, Gemini, before I start with your tarot. So they're saying something about consistency of food, like making sure that it's thick enough. So like if you were beating eggs or you're whisking, something like that, and it needs to be consistent, so it needs to be quite thick. Okay, so you might be making something, or a person around you might be making something. I'm also hearing a personal assistant, like a PA. So it means like I need an assistant for something at work. Like I need someone to assist me, and I might be training someone up. Okay, so Tanya, Tyler, Tarot, but I might be training someone. Okay, so I'm also hearing training day, which was Denzel Washington. So anybody that begins with D or W, okay, training day. So it feels like that for a lot of you, you might have something going on at work where I used to do this when I worked for children. We used to get called in and we used to have to go and do a training day. And oh my God, it's that day that comes where I have to train to do something. And then if there's a new person, I have to train them up in order to show me around the road and blah, blah, blah. When I was driving, and it was like a new person comes along in order for them to take over like a taxi route. Okay, you know the way now. I've been showing you the way. You've been with me for a week, so you know the way. So now you can be the driver and I can go off to do something else, right? So it's a little bit like that, like a training day. But there is something in your energy of a message of saying about remaining consistent, okay? So I don't know if that's consistency of liquid to make sure that it's thick enough, or just someone that you're trying to maintain a connection with to make sure that it's consistent, like it's a repetitive behavior of something. Okay, so let's see what you've got coming up for your weekly reading, please, for Gemini. What have they got coming up this week, please, for Gemini? So you got Hangman. You could have Pisces in your chart. The trouble is it's upside down. So it's kind of like this, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. Afraid so or afraid not. Am I afraid of being rejected? Okay. Am I stuck doing the same thing every single day? You could even be called Steve. But like, am I stuck doing the same thing? Now, don't forget, you can also watch my readings through numerology, which means that you can watch Capricorn and Gemini readings regardless of whether you've got Cappy in your chart or not, because it's 6. Like this is a 3. Okay, but there would be no other major arcana really, star sign that represents a 3, apart from Pisces, okay, which is a 12, okay. So what you've got here is that this could be an ex-person a lot around you here, and it's just someone that you possibly don't get on with at all, okay, because that can also be stuck at home, okay. Let's see. Because it's kind of like, I want to let you go. Like I'm going to have to... Okay, so that someone might be getting fired at work. Like I'm going to have to let you go. Because I'm hearing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught fish alive. So it might be something around a life path 5. Or a Sagittarius or Taurus. And I'm going to have to let you go. Like... Because it might be work related. Like where you'll find someone that's being released. Because the Hangman in reverse is basically getting down off a tree, right? So it's kind of what I'm hearing is that some of you, someone might be released from either, like, I don't know, prison, or they've been let go of a job. Like, I've been working here for quite some time and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you go. Okay. So it's that. Now it could be where it's an old time connection and I'm just going to have to drop this now and let it go. Okay. Let it go. Let it go. Okay. So I'm just going to have to let you go. So it can also be, like I said, well, it can either be rejected, or it can also be like, I'm at work and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you go and find another job. Okay. Or the name Rob or Robin or Robert, but I'm going to have to let you go. Okay. It's a bit like the fish that got away. Okay. Let's see. So Gemini, what's Gemini got coming up, please, for their week for Gemini? So you've got a donkey, basically. I've got to make sure that I do this around my chest, so she's not going to be able to see it if I put it here. Okay, so you've kind of got like a Capricorn, Pisces, Life Path 3 kind of energy going on here. It feels like that whatever it is that's going isn't going anywhere. It's just not going anywhere fast. It might be where I'm going steady with this person and this is the person that's mine. If you guys are in relationships, this is the person that I'm stuck on. Like, I'm with this person, okay, and I'm not letting go of them and they are not letting go of me. There's also a not being able to drop something as well here. Like I can't forget that. I can't just drop it, because it could be someone's ego also. Let's see, Gemini. What's Gemini got coming up this week, please? So you got 9 of Cups. Water retention. So I did say this in another one. It could be something to do around dieting and health. Okay, an unhealthy attachment or attachment. So if you look into attachments, okay, like physical attachments of people, you get avoidance. Okay, this is also avoiding. Okay, and it stems from childhood. So you've got avoidance and then you have anxious people. Okay, this is anxiety of wondering if a person's going to turn me down or let me go or not. Okay, if I fully open up to them, I'm worried about being tied down and that I would have to fully open up to this person to let them in. Okay, but to also let them go. So the majority of people that watch tarot, believe it or not, doing it through many years of also counselling, a lot of people, they suffer through attachment styles that you get when you're with someone. Okay, normally, if you get a couple that have not experienced a hell of a lot of childhood trauma, okay, and their childhood was a very decent upbringing, when they find a relationship, they will find someone that relates a lot to how they were brought up. If you get people that have been brought up in the past where it's been a very difficult childhood, Pisces are a lot like this. If they've had a very difficult childhood, there can be situations that go on where this would be what goes on with their mother or as a child if it's the Piscean energy. This is a very deep reading because I can feel it coming up. Okay, so what they're saying is that there's this avoidance tactic that someone does to avoid a mother or a father, maybe. Okay, I'm avoiding a mother or a father because that's the person that I'm constantly stuck with, but that is the person that I've learned avoidance tactics from. If you learn avoidance tactics, normally when you meet another person, they have anxious attachment, which means that they fear being that you're not paying me any attention, okay, that you might not want me. Why don't you want me? What more can I do for you to make you see me? What can I do to make you want me even more if you're avoiding me? But you keep avoiding me and avoiding me and avoiding me. But if this is coming up through the mother and the son and the daughter, it's because they were raised that way to avoid their parent. Okay, so if you are like a Gemini or a Capricorn and you are like relating to that kind of what I'm telling you about having a very difficult childhood, and it's always been about avoiding the parents, a parent or parents in general, or Jen, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, it's about avoiding. So mirrors come up later on in life when dealing with, say, this person in a relationship where you will see that they try to avoid a parent. They try to avoid one of their parents. Might be both of them, I don't know, but they try to avoid their parents because that is a tactic that comes up, like I said, of avoidance within a relationship. Okay. Why do they never come forward? Why do they never reach out? That is also an avoidance tactic. I do it. This is me. Okay, I do it. Why does this person never reach out? I never reach out to friends and I barely ever reach out to anybody. Why? It's not the fact that I'm avoiding everybody, but I always feel like I can't be bothered. And I avoid people, okay? That is a tactic of avoidance, okay? Avoiding people, avoiding being tied down, avoiding being controlled, avoiding being smothered, avoiding being mothered also, okay? Through avoiding being mothered, the mother teaches the child to avoid certain things in their relationship where it feels like it's an empty vessel. Like I feel like there's a void in me somewhere that needs filling, okay? That's why you get this fulfilled, what they say fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled. So it feels like that the partner might be sometimes feeling like it's very difficult to emotionally fulfill you, to get your attention on me a lot. But why you go through a lot of separation, a lot, is because normally people that watch tarot, if one has an avoidance tactic, the other one has anxiety and fear-based energy of not providing enough for someone. I have to keep showing my love, loads of it. Okay, and loads of love and loads of love. And I have to smother you that to prove to you that I love you. The person that has avoidance tactics is the one that's kind of like, oh, that's a little bit too much. Okay, so what I'm picking up is that there's this energy here about if you're wondering why someone is avoiding you, like I said, it's because they may have avoidance tactics that they're not meaning to do it. This person shouldn't be mean or meaner or minor. Anybody getting with them? They shouldn't be meaning to do that. It's just that they are doing that. Okay. Now, if you have been married or you've gone through like an old kind of situation and you are basically just trying to avoid one another. Okay. This is why soulmates get back together and don't. And then they get back together and they don't, and they get back together and then they do and then they don't. It's because you can, if you find a decent partner, that you can actually work on that with someone of a relationship. You can work on it. As long as there isn't because this is the truth, okay? When a person feels as if they need to avoid the partner that they're not opening up to, that is when they start gaining a promiscuous eye. They start thinking of other women or other options of men or women because they're trying to avoid their partner that is actually showing them that amount of love. They're actually showing them that. They're actually saying, I want to be with you. I'm here for you all of the time. I wanted to be with you all of the time. Well, why will you not open up all of the time to me? Because they avoid that, okay? So because they're avoiding that amount of closeness, what this person does is they go back to a mothered energy that teaches them the same, okay? So it's like a mother's, well, I'm hearing mother's ruin. That's slang that we don't really want to go down, but it feels like that there's a mother. Oh God, this is where people are really going to hate me if you are mothers, because I'm probably not talking about you, okay? That a mother is ruining a child's life, or someone here feels that the mother or the father is ruining the child's life, okay? Here. Because they keep getting me to look at mother's ruin. Right, but what that can also mean is that this person's older, like a druid, like an older person that has a lot of family problems around their parent, their mother. And I am a Pisces. I have a Gemini, 3 placements of Gemini, like you guys know. And if you know any Pisces and you know them well enough, you may start to realize how many problems that a lot of Pisceans have had or do have around parenting and children and their mother and their father, okay? It's a trait that they have, okay? So there's this either working on something with your partner if you're in partnership of avoiding, or you're not working on it with someone at all, or Michael or Connor, and you're not prepared to work on it at all with this person, and you want nothing to do with them. You've washed your hands of it. But like I said, this is where soulmates either make it or they break it, is when a soulmate doesn't give up on their partner because they're showing signs of maybe promiscuous energy. Like I said, this is what causes a lot of third party energies, because they get promiscuous because the person that's loved them forever or Trevor and has always tried to love them, they've never accepted that that was good enough, and feeling like I always need to give you one more chance. Should I give you one more chance? Should I not give you one more chance? Can I give you one more chance to make it up to you? Okay. Would you accept me if I was to say, look, you know, we can make this work out if you would give me one more chance? But I feel someone here has probably overstepped the mark. Now, like I said, with avoidance tactics and then also anxious energy of both energies here, if there is a promiscuous eye and the other one's like, no, I've caught you cheating and you went off with another woman or a man, and I am so not down for that, that's the end of the relationship, because the trust is broken. Okay, so if you're watching and you're like, no way, I am not up for that person avoiding me and wanting someone else, I am not prepared to sit and wait for this person and they can go off and they can do what they want, that means that you possibly could also say have like a fear of also like either, okay, that you're not prepared to work on that with a partner that you may love, that you was in love with at one point. You gave up on it. You're like, no, I'm not going to work on this with you. Okay. Like I said, not everybody, Capricorn, not everybody, Gemini, has to work on these energies. They because like I said, you can spend a long time within these cards here wondering why a person's not physically opening up to you. Okay. So the last thing you want to do is go up to them and say, I know the reason why you're not opening up to me is because you've got avoidance tactics. Don't do that, for God's sake. Okay, but if you are in a couple here, because don't worry, it's gonna be like a reading. Okay, you've got to let me get couples, singles, and then metaphysical messages out of the way. If you are in a circumstance that seems to be very monotonous and you can't seem to get through, the mother or the child could well be going through that with each other. That the mother seems to make the person close down, open up, close down, open up, close down, open up, close down. So as an individual, they've been bred to do that, to open up and close down. So if you go through where all of a sudden a person starts acting like Jekyll and Hyde, right? And 1 minute they're okay and then the next minute they're not okay. And then you get too close to them, they'll start putting up boundaries and walls and then realizing, oh, you're getting way too close now. I'm going to have to avoid you because you're getting too close. So you on the other end, or the other person on the other end, would start thinking, hold on, that's fucking wrong. Okay, I need to try harder to prove myself to them, because I don't want to be left. I actually want to work on it, you see. So then you get the other person that has, so like I said, avoidance and then anxious energy. I'm really anxious to try and not realize why this other person will not accept me as a partner or to love them. Why won't they do that? Because they're avoiding, because that's what they've been taught to do, to avoid. Okay. So like I said, 2 stories. If you're with someone, you're kind of working on this. You're working on it. If you are not with anybody, but this is like an ex energy, you're just dealing with it going through court with children, because this is a 3, and that would relate to the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, broke up, blah, 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 had children, they went off with someone else. My ego was wounded and hurt. I'm not prepared to put up with that. I'm not putting up with it anymore. And now I have to deal with them being narcissistic. The trouble is with people that in tarot are so quick to say narcissistic person because why? Because they went with another person, because they literally fell out of love with someone. People can fall in and out of love all of the time, because a person, if they have avoidance tactics, they will avoid the person that's closest to them and avoid them, and they will go elsewhere. Okay. It's not the fact that they don't love you, because their feelings might change later where they're kind of like, now I can feel that there's no tension, that I need to avoid you. I now feel that it's safe to approach, to be able to speak to you, because the energy feels better and I don't feel so restricted. This is where on the teaching tier I went into fear of engulfment and fear of abandonment. It's the same kind of energy, but it's an attachment style that you guys really need to kind of like start realizing about why a lot of these things happen within the connections of why people watch tarot cards. Is the fact that we're all flawed, that we need kind of guidance, right? And if we need guidance, it's mainly because the way that we've been raised. Okay, so we've kind of got this, why you always constantly try to avoid me, and I feel like I need to constantly try to fulfill your wishes and your dreams, but I can't seem to live up to that expectation. And I keep trying, and I keep trying to make you understand that I want to be with you if you do, okay, but that doesn't feel as if it's good enough, okay, satisfactory. I don't feel like I'm emotionally satisfied. Now, this can be at times, this person can be finding it very difficult to be emotionally satisfied, right? I feel like it's a struggle to constantly provide you with the amount of love that I want to give you that you won't accept, okay? Some of you here, it's like a boring energy, if I'm of such, like, because I really do feel like this Pisces energy in reverse here is kind of got something going on with them that is making them frustrated. Let's see, Gemini. So Gemini, Capricorn, okay. So don't forget, Gemini, this is a number 6, okay. So does, right, you want to know if you guys are not born, I told you to try and stay through the video, okay. So if we're in hell and we go to heaven in a little rowboat, clap clap, 6 of Swords is a boat that goes where? To the Garden of Eden, goes to the Garden of Eden, okay. So if we are here, number 6, and we go to a number 6, what's that? 12. What is that? Jesus. Jesus, okay. Born, resurrected. In reverse, okay, resurrection. So it could be something to do with someone's erection. It could be where I'm struggling to like find an erection. It might be having don't blame the men for that, okay? Because it can also be women problems as well, where sex could be a problem here, okay? Where it's kind of like needing to find the time in order to be able to have sex, or where I'm just so exhausted and tired the fact that I might not want that, okay? So there's a problem that seems to be kind of like infidelity, kind of high. Someone could be getting high all the time, and that's a problem, okay? But do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, very important to understand and listen. We all go to heaven in a little rowboat, clap, clap. Number 6. So if a 6 goes to another 6, which is the Garden of Eden of Gemini, okay, in the boat that reaches a major arcana of the Lovers, then obviously we're in hell. We go to heaven in the boat of 6, but because 6 meets 6, you get 12. Now, if you know anything about religion, because I've never read the book, but I do know enough about tarot and numbers and stuff. 6 is here of the devil, of Lucifer. That was when Jesus was born, okay, on Christmas Day, but then resurrected as a Piscean on the 3rd month, okay. So you get 3, okay. So you've got this energy of like maybe religious factors possibly standing in the way of what I believe and what you believe. Like your religion stands in the way of my belief of love. And it can be like sex before marriage. It can be that you're married, or we was married, but you were promiscuous. And all of these kind of like messages seem to be coming up through here of breaking out a bond of commitment, of marriage, of sex before marriage, had children, so on and so forth. Maybe father, stepfather. I'm also hearing like a Stepford wife or a stepfather kind of energy here. Stepford. So unless your name's Stepford or Sefford or Steffi, Steph. Jeff, my name is Jeff. My name is Steph. Okay, let's see. Wow, we're hearing an old-time Steph Blunden. Okay, I used to know Steph Blunden. He used to... there could be drugs and stuff here involved. Let's see, Gemini. What's Gemini got coming up this week? This is a deep reading, Gemini, because it's possibly not showing me like the progression of something. It's showing me like aggression here, like aggression and the things that you guys are like, the things that make you go, that you're kind of working on possibly at the moment. Now, the Tower is somebody that's also very dynamic. Like there's a lot of chaos going on, and it could be at work, it could be at home, okay, but there's a lot of chaos, and it's hard for someone to think, okay, hard for someone to think, because there could be, like I said, it could be signs of ADD and stuff like that, right? And I find it very difficult to concentrate when there's a lot of chaos. Like I can't fucking think straight when there's chaos. And what this person possibly deals with, either one, at home, or two, at work, is a lot of chaotic energy, again. And it stresses them out. And when they come home as a mother or a father or as a couple, they start to possibly take it out on one another. Because like I said, it's the one that's the closest. This is about where I work or where I live. Okay, it's a house. Okay. Well, what's the old horror movies that I used to like? House 1, 2, and 3. House 1, 2, and 3, right? Does anybody remember those as an old-time horror buff? House 1, House 2, and House 3. The third one was like Shocker. Okay, where he's getting electric shocks and he came back alive. Like Frankenstein or Frankie or Francesca or anybody who's beginning with F or Steph or Jeff. Okay. Or Julian or Jason or Justin or Jackie or Jasmine. So what you've got here is, how can I put this into words by just blatantly telling you the truth? You guys know my family dynamic with a Gemini, right? I have 3 placements of Gemini, so I'm not avast against Geminis, right? I have 3 placements of it myself, but I do deal with a Gemini constantly as a family dynamic, okay? So why that's very difficult is because the same person always comes up in the same reading as mine, where it's also her and mine and me, okay? So as I'm a Pisces, I'm the child of being a Piscean energy here, right? So what I'm trying to get you to understand through the reading is like, say this be me here, this is what goes on with me here, is a situation that's very toxic, and that is also an energy that's avoiding the mother, like me, right? Avoiding mother, okay? So that's here. So in friendships or even, say, relationships, with or without partners, whether you're not, okay, it's a tactic that the mother teaches the child, like me, of what comes up as what this person is possibly going through, what a partner might be fearing that the person is avoiding them. The Tower, if this was in reverse, this would mean avoiding the Tower. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's still avoiding. Okay. I've been learned fear of engulfment. That I don't like too much fast, chaotic, smothered, can't breathe energy as if it was smoke. Okay. Like, oh my God, it's just too much fucking love. There's too much attention. I don't like everything in the spotlights being on me. I don't want too much attention. Please stop, keep fucking smothering me with all of this stuff. As a child, that's what I go through, right? So if that relates to any of you where you're seeing those symptoms that are coming up in a relationship, look more towards their relationship with their mum or their dad or both of you to work on it. What was it like for you growing up? What was it like for me growing up? If you can find those patterns of behaviour of, like I said, you can call it 2 things. Fear of engulfment, being too smothered, too, oh God, no, just, oh, can't breathe. Don't want to be around you. Oh, just give me some time. right? Or fear of abandonment. Oh my God, please don't leave me. Please give me attention. I need you around me all the time. My God, what am I going to do if you was to leave? What would I do? I need you in my life. Okay. Fear of being rejected and abandoned, right? Same energy of what I was just telling you right at the beginning, okay? Which is avoidance, and then also anxiety, worry, okay? Fear, okay? So it's the same kind of aspect, but it's it's what we do when we have an attachment. It's what we go through of control issues. Okay, like I said, these control issues that you find with people, you can be quick to judge them and think, fuck that. There's no way I'm working on that with this person. And that's the end of the story. Or you can think, no, this is my partner and this is who I'm sticking with to work on this with this person because I think that they are worthwhile working on this with. So you will go through hell and hell, heaven and hell. You will go through a lot of shit. You will. But that's your karmic energy. Because if the child hasn't left the mother yet, okay, and they haven't left, there's fear of attachment, like to detach from physical energy. I think I started giving you a little bit too much of my life here, where people are saying, stop talking about yourself. But it's true. If you want me to help you, I need to also help myself to teach myself to teach you also, where we are all in the same little rowboat. Okay, so what can be one of the problems that as a collective energy of what I'm telling us is, what does this mean? Money, Jenny? It means money. It means that if I am living a life of luxury and I have everything that I want and everything that I need, but I don't have everything that I want and I don't have everything I need because where I'm living is fucking chaos. But can I have everything? No. So what do we have to learn? Sacrifice. The sacrificial lamb. You go back to anything that's biblical. Steve doesn't believe in going to church. Believes in God? Sure. Steve Vai. Right? For the love of God, Steve Vai. Right? So, yes and no. Okay? But sacrifice. I came up with this in another reading yesterday where I was saying a very well-known person, actor, called Sylvester Stallone. And he said about a screenplay that he wrote that was Rocky Balboa, that he tried to be an actor and nobody was hiring him whatsoever. They would not hire him as an actor because he wasn't known and nobody knew him at all. Nobody knew him. Okay, so he couldn't get any work. Okay, people like Johnny Depp knew the other guy, so he got a hand in, you know, but like couldn't get anywhere. So he started practicing, realizing, give up, sacrifice that for the moment. Okay, look elsewhere. Okay, learn a lesson elsewhere. So what will I do? Screenplay, writing. So he wrote one, shit, nobody wanted it. Wrote another one, a little better, but still no one wanted it. Third or fourth or maybe fifth time, what did he write? Rocky Balboa. Right, Rocky Balboa. What happened? He pretty much said, that's my screenplay, do you want it? Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Brilliant. I am going to be the main actor. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Or you don't have the screenplay. Okay, so his path was sacrifice, acting, to concentrate on screenplay, wrote a brilliant screenplay after a while, and then become an actor later. But he did this first. He replaced it. Okay, so we always have to look at replacing one with another to learn. Okay, as we don't ascend and we don't get anywhere. Okay, so what you've got here is like this message of codependent, dependent, but not wanting, but kind of wanting, but just stuck about feeling, what is it that I have to sacrifice to make something better? So, for instance, do I move out of a house like this? Who lives in a place like this? Okay, do I sacrifice, no mortgage, nothing, okay, everything's paid. Do I sacrifice that, okay, to move out from chaos at 47 to go and start a brand new life and a mortgage and a house and then more likely end up in debt to be happy? But would that truly make me happy, or would that end up being a disaster? Don't know. So I don't know what to do. Should I or shouldn't I? Is it the right time or is it not? So what do I sacrifice? Well, I can't really do either yet, so what do? Stay put. Stay put. Okay, the stay puffed man. Right? So it's kind of like, well, at the moment, I'm going to concentrate on my diet. Okay, going to try and pay for all of the things that I might need to do later and get my diet under control. Okay, so carnivore, any of you out there on the carnivore diet, you want to look into it because it's really good. But me, Gemini, carnivore diet, right? So I need to look into the carnivore diet, or I need to look more into my diet, making myself more healthier whilst I'm here. Okay, start looking into my diet, looking at things that I can do to bide my time until things start to change. So I can start to look at my diet, can start to look at my health. It's also water retention. I was actually looking in it, funnily enough, yesterday, because I was trying to maybe have sweetener, but you can't on the carnivore diet. You have to cut it out. Why? Because sweetener is not calories and it is not anything else, but it does raise your insulin level. Did you know this interesting fact? That if you get sweetener or anything sweet and you just swill it in someone's mouth, their insulin level goes up automatically without them even swallowing sugar or sweetener. Your body reacts to insulin because it knows that it needs to get prepared to have insulin. So you can not even have sugar and watch it like, oh, fucking Homer Simpson. I'm drooling over that motherfucker. I'm going to eat that donut. Your insulin level is spiking at that time where you are craving sugar. You're craving sugar without even having it. Without even having sugar, you are craving sugar because your body is like working its way of your insulin going up. Okay, so it's kind of like this where you might be holding water retention or having to need to cut out sugar if you haven't. If you haven't cut out sugar, it's like crack cocaine, sugar, trying to give it up. This is like a week and a half for me. I feel so much better with no sugar. It's unreal. It's unreal. Okay, so these two cards here mean health. You're either looking at your health, you are extremely healthy, or you are extremely unhealthy and may need to start looking at your health. Now, next message. If you have a very, very, very toxic, unhealthy attachment to somebody, okay, then what is that unhealthy attachment that is binding you together? Marriage and children. Marriage and children. Their marriage, your marriage. The third energy. The devil child. Okay, that isn't a devil child, but it is still the energy that keeps you bound together through money, mortgage, house, home. Okay, Capricorn means anything that is tangible in life, like money, a job, a human being, a child. Okay, what do I do? Where do I go? We can't split up. We want to get divorced. We don't get on. We try to avoid each other at every fucking moment that we can. We spend more time avoiding each other than what we actually do trying to get on with one another. Why? Because of avoidance tactics, and then also scarcity tactics of I'm scared and worried about being on my own all the time. That mirrors a mother feeling like I'm going to be scared and alone if my children was to move out and on their own and they were to go. What would I do when I'm older and I need support from a child? What would I do on my own? That leads to codependency, fear of abandonment from the mother. The child then is manipulated to stay. The child then can't leave because the partner may or may not want them to. You get into a whole fucking shit show of God knows what else goes through this reading, Gemini. And the chain of the hell loop continues. Because the mother may be getting older and starts to worry that if my children are not around me, then what do I have left in my life if my life led me to raising children, raising Arizona, from Arizona or Alaska or anywhere like that. okay, or even up north, okay, Alaska, okay. So you've got this huge codependent, reliant energy on a mother and a child of a mother. But you've got like this child that's trying their best to avoid a parent, and for some cases, okay, to avoid a parent. Okay, the parent tries to get the attention of the child that won't give it, and then the relationship that you guys may be in starts to suffer through suffocation, which is, like I said, feeling like I can't fucking breathe and that I haven't got time on my own. You really could be dealing with a Scorpio. If you're dealing with anybody that has a lot of placements of Scorpio, be very careful, okay? Because fear of being smothered with those guys is also very, yeah, you don't want to do that. So that's the only way that I can really read your cards at the moment. Now, what I am also noticing, guys, right, is that yesterday when I was doing a reading, this was the one that I said, and this one is in the middle. And the one that I did yesterday, I don't think it was Leo, because I put that out this morning. It was Capricorn. Okay, it was Capricorn. Okay, so like I said, if you guys do not believe me when I'm telling you that the same stories come out through the numerology of number, y'all need a lot of catching up to do, okay? Because this card was exactly the one that was right in the middle of all of these cards, okay? Now, I'm going to show you these cards when we go over to Patreon, because I've got myself a thing sorted out where I can turn it down, show you the cards. You don't have to keep looking at my mug, and you can see the representation of what I'm showing you, also teaching you and learning in your reading. Okay, it's very short, I know, but it's a very important one at the moment, because it's more internally what is kind of wrong with a connection. It's showing me more the signs of what's internally going wrong in my relationship is around this. Okay, so to see if this turns around, we go over to Patreon. Please make sure that you smash that like button, Gemini. Give it a smash, just like hit it once, just like once. If you're going to hit the dislike button, just make sure you hit that twice. If you're going to hit the like button, just make sure you hit that like button, baby. Please make sure that you also leave a comment. Anything, doesn't matter. Anything that you want to leave, just comment. Gets the algorithm going, okay? We really need to build this channel up this year, okay? So when you go over, hopefully, if you follow me over to Patreon, it'll be the silver or the gold tier. You can see then, and I'll show you, and then we'll have a whole spread of cards, and because we've only got like 5 cards here at the moment, okay? You don't need a real lot of cards in order to express what's kind of going on with the person, right? So these messages that will then turn into the mother, the father, the work, the love interest, the partner, metaphysical and also physical, what a person's going through on their own. I'm definitely feeling like the divorce and the separation of a couple that is also here, okay? So in order to find out what that is, you will need the silver or the gold tier. Like I said, you will be able to see the cards. Please make sure you click the links below. Thanks very much, Gemini. Really appreciate it. See you soon.